Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Saturday the 25th of September 2021. Today was match day. And how did we get on? Well, we played Nottingham Forest and it was a 1-1 draw. Another draw. This is a match report from news@den.co.uk. Let's have a read of this. It says Millwall resisted the new manager bounce but could only manage another draw as they shared a point apiece with Nottingham Forest at the City ground. Matt Smith headed the Lions into a half-time lead before Bartosz Białkowski was caught out by Max Lowe's cross, which the Forest left back whipped into the top left corner of Millwall's net. It is now 6 draws from 9 at the start of the Championship campaign for Gary Rowett's side, who sit 19th in the Championship. Forest, managed for the first time today by Steve Cooper, are still in the relegation zone. If you look in the top right, you will see we are 19th in the table, played 9 games, got 9 points. We are 3 places above the relegation zone, which is where Nottingham Forest are. They've played 9 games and got 5 points. Forest were roared on by most of the 25,589 faithful in the opening exchanges and nearly went in front after 5 minutes when Jed Spence picked out Lewis Grabban, but Białkowski denied the striker from within the 6-yard box. Grabban's afternoon was then cut short after 25 minutes when an injury forced him off and he was replaced by ex-Charlton forward Lyle Taylor. Taylor received an unexpectedly cold welcome from the travelling Lions fans, who were cheering minutes later as Smith's header trickled into the bottom right corner. Following great work by Shea Yojo, the on-loan Liverpool man found space to cross from the right and picked out the 6-foot 6-inch striker with aplomb to register an assist which his performance deserved. That goal sapped much of the noise from the home crowd, who had been up on their feet to a man to applaud Cooper as he came out. There might have been more for the Lions before half-time too, but a succession of long throws and corners from right wing-back Ryan Leonard and Conor Mahoney respectively failed to lead to another goal. Early in the second half, that lucky delivery from Lowe snatched 2 points from Millwall. Starman Jed Wallace missed out as he did against Leicester City through illness, while Benicophobe and Tom Bradshaw entered the fray late on but did not have time to make an impact. Winger Philip Zinkernagel, on loan at Forest from Watford, gave Millwall food for thought in the final 25 minutes as his pace on the counter-attack forced Mikel Keftenbeld to pick up a yellow card in exchange for thwarting a dangerous move that the Dutch midfielder's final part in the match, as he was subbed right away for George Evans. Millwall went closest to winning it as Ojo and Smith combined again, but the forwards' effort smacked off the crossbar. The talking points: Jay Cooper left out. The Lions centre-half has been ever-present in the Championship 2 out of the last 3 seasons, but found himself on the bench this afternoon after a difficult night against FA Cup winners Leicester on Wednesday. Daniel Ballard, vice-captain Sean Hutchinson and Murray Wallace made up Gary Rowett's back 3 and held firm for much of the game. Lions fans are likely to be content whichever trio out of those names started. An experienced club captain Alex Pearce is also an option. It's 9 goals scored and 11 conceded so far in the Championship, leaving the Lions a goal difference of -2 now. A bit of a surprise that Jay Cooper left out. Someone had to be left out. It's probably going to be between him and Murray Wallace. Murray Wallace did play well against Leicester. I thought he did play well, but he was saying like Murray Wallace got a tight calf or something like that. But so Leicester's first goal the other day, it seems there's a bit of to-ing and fro-ing of who's to blame for what happened there. A few people are pointing the finger at Jay Cooper. Others are pointing the finger at Ryan Leonard. Alex Pearce was actually very angry, and he was shouting at Ryan Leonard on the pitch as it went in. I know that because that happened right in front of me. And then we had Rowett come out after the match, his post-match comments. He basically saying he was telling Ryan Leonard to throw it back. And he said that like he wasn't. like it didn't sound like he was accepting responsibility for. Oh yeah, I told him to do that. I was there on the sideline telling him to do that. So it's not his fault. He didn't come across like that. It come across like, yeah, well, I told him to throw it back. So is that incident led to Jake Cooper being dropped here now? And so Rowett told Ryan Leonard to throw it back. Ryan Leonard throws it to Jake Cooper. Jake Cooper has two Leicester players jump on him as soon as he gets the ball. Ends up losing it. We end up conceding. All from Rowett telling Leonard to throw it back, and now Jake Cooper's sitting on the bench because of that. Because of what Rowett told Leonard to do. First league goal since February for Smith. Smith's opener was far from against the run of players. Millwall began to grow into the first half. The big striker used his top asset to find the bottom right corner of the Forest net. We'll be hoping that this could be the start of a hot streak. He has never been the most prolific of centre forwards, but did hit double figures 2 seasons ago for the Lions and went toe to toe with Tobias Figueiredo every time Leonard or Scott Malone on the left hand side put the ball into the box. Bradshaw and Fogarty both made cameos towards the end. So much to think about for Rowett ahead of Wednesday's home fixture against Bristol City. Ojo, a constant nuisance in attack. Mill fans are more than aware that Ojo has had his fair share of loan moves, 7 including his current club in fact, though the talent is there for all to see. He was the architect of Smith's goal, but with a little more quality might have set Mill up for a second midway through the second half. The home supporters were incensed when the ball hit the referee Jeremy Simpson, who had half signalled to stop the game before waving play on and allowing Ojo to break. The ball eventually found its way to Smith, but a tame header from point blank range could not trouble Bryce Samba in a Forest goal in the 66th minute. Dropped points from a winning position. Mill found themselves in the driving seat of a match for the first time since Cooper's stoppage time winner against Blackpool in late August. But little blame it is fair to say can be thrown the way of Rowett or his team for the manner in which the lead was relinquished today. That's not a good sentence to either read or speak. Lau's goal was one of those moments in football which took absolutely fantastic, but in all honesty, and pretty fluky and unfair on a team that concedes a goal. The Forest left back was reluctant to even celebrate, though for new boss Cooper, his luck with his predecessor Chris Hughton was not afforded during his 11 months at the City ground. So, yeah. So we've got the match report and talking points of the game. There we see the league table. It doesn't lie. 9 points from 9 games. So this is South London Press's online website, londonnewsonline.co.uk. They've got their 5 takeaways from Mill's 1-1 draw at Forest. Yep. So Matt Smith loves the City ground. The Lions number 10 scored a hat-trick in their visit to the City ground in March 2020, which was the last game before lockdown started, and got their goal this afternoon after he nodded home Shea Yojo's cross. Smith won 11 aerial duels in the game, which was more than all 3 of Nottingham Forest centre-backs, who could only muster 8 between them. The 32-year-old so nearly won it for Mill late on as he hit the crossbar with a ferocious strike just inside the penalty area. Shea Yojo gets his first assist for Millwall. Shea Yojo was signed on a season-long loan on deadline day from Liverpool, the 24-year-old, and not featured since Millwall's 1-1 draw against WBA 2 weeks ago due to illness, but racked up his first assist for the South London club today with a lovely delivery for Smith to head home. 6 draws in 9 Championship League matches. Gary Outside have become known as a draw specialist in recent years, and are once again doing the same this season. The Lions have now drawn more league games than anyone in the Championship. Barnsley are just behind them with 5. We all need to find a way of turning those draws into wins. And if they can, they will find themselves climbing the table pretty quickly. Yeah, but it's not that, is it? It's not that. It's not that. It's fucking shit. We don't go out to win games. We go out to not lose them. You listen. Drawing games is dog shit. It's fucking dog shit. You draw 3 games, who gives a fucking shit? You draw 3 games, you get 3 points. Now if you win 1 game and you lose 2, you still got 3 points, but at least you won a fucking game. You've won. It feels good when you fucking win, doesn't it? Doesn't it? But you still got the same amount of points as 3 draws. Now which would you rather have? Would you rather win 1 game and lose 2? Or would you rather draw 3 games? I know which one I would fucking prefer. Fucking win 1, lose 2. Simples. It feels good when you win. Look when we score. Do the players celebrate? Why? Because it feels good. It's happy. You've just scored a goal. Joyous moment. Because that might be the goal that wins the game. You can see when if the team's losing 4-0 and then someone scores, they don't really give a fucking shit. Because it's not the possibility of being a winner. This is a competition. You need to see who is the winner and who is the loser. Drawing games doesn't do that. Drawing games is dog shit. Now if you draw the odd game, yeah, that's fine. But when you aim to go out and you draw fucking 15 games a season, or now whatever we're up to, 4 in a fucking row, no, that's just fucking shit. Conor Mahoney's first league start of the season after the former Bournemouth man's impressive performance on Wednesday evening against Premier League Leicester City. Garrett opted to hand him a first start of the season. With Jed Wallace missing due to illness, it was a good opportunity for Mahoney to really show what he can do. 24-year-old had the best pass success rate out of Millwall's starting 11 with 90%, but needs a bit more creative to be more of a regular in the side. Ah, so they've been having a little look at the stats, have they, before they do their little writing? Was it Richard Corley who wrote this, is it? Yes. Let's have a look. Oh no, it was Kai Bennett. Okay, it was Kai. Well, Kai, I don't know if you're watching this video, but I've had a little look on whoscored.com as well. And he has a 90% success rate, but he only passed the ball 10 times. So, I think it was like 78 minutes or so. He really was not involved today. So it looks good, but when you get in there with the microscope and look a little deeper, well, you can say, well, whatever he did do, he did it well, but he didn't do a lot in a game. He only passed the ball 10 times. So, anyway, I'll show you more about that in tomorrow's video, seeing as it'll be Sunday. So what are we doing on? No win in the last 8 away games. Millwall's last win on the road was against Stoke City back in early April, when goals from Murray Wallace and Mason Bennett gave the Lions all 3 points. Since Garrett has come in, Millwall have been much more effective away from home. However, so far this season, the Lions have played 5 league games away from home, and they've drawn 4 and lost 1. That's another thing as well. There's a lot of teams in the north of England in this league this year. That means a lot of travelling for Millwall fans. They had pretty much nightmare journeys to West Brom. The trains were messed up. The motorways were messed up. Like there's a solid core of fans that go to most away games. Then there's other people that get to a fair few. And when they go to these games and the team's set up to draw, what's the point? What's the point of travelling all that way to watch that? What is the point? You go to these games, think, oh, we never win here. I don't know why I'm bothering. I'm going to go, and then you see the one game where we win at this stadium that we've never won at, and you can go back and say, I was there. I was there when that player scored that goal and we won that game. You're gonna fucking go, oh, I was there when we drew 1-1 at fucking Nottingham Forest in 2021. I was there. No, because no one gives a fucking shit. It's not a win. Nothing happened. Nothing of note happened. Football by numbers. Drab. Fucking 5 defenders. 1 up front. So we're going to move into what the manager said about the game now. We've seen the match reports from... Well, we've seen match report from News at Den, and we've seen comments on the game from South London Press. So what did Gary Rowett say? So this is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. It's Gary Rowett's comments on why he dropped Jake Cooper. Millwall boss Gary Rowett explained his decision to play Murray Wallace and drop Jake Cooper, and say the latter will come back stronger for it. Wallace played in the back three with the returning Sean Hutchinson and Daniel Ballard in the Lions' 1-1 draw against the Nottingham Forest. Rowett said, "We've missed Hutchie, and with Hutchie coming back, I had a big call really, whether to play Coops or Murray Wallace. I just felt as though Murray's performances have earned him the right to go in there. But Coops will be back and will be stronger for it. He's a top player. I had a choice whether to put Danny McNamara back in the team today, but again, he hasn't played much, and I didn't want to do that with Shea, Bennick and Hutchie, who have all been out." Now that is the thing that probably cost us the fucking game. Because if you watch the goal they scored, Ryan Leonard basically turns his back on the geezer, or he gets done. He gets a little shimmy, and he gets done, and he's a bit late. And then the guy whips the ball in, and it goes in the net, and you could probably say, "Well, come on, Bart, what are you fucking doing?" But what's happening with Ryan Leonard there? You put in square pegs in round holes, and it doesn't quite work. Now everyone's was raving about Ryan Leonard's performance against Leicester. Basically, some people saying man of the match, but I thought not really, not for me. I would have not man of the match, but Millwall's best player probably would have been Murray Wallace for me. But that's because yet again he was playing left wing back, and he does a bit more when he's left wing back than when he's in the centre back. So that's why he looked better than being there. But yeah, so if Danny McNamara would have played, probably would have been better for us. Probably putting brown pegs in round holes probably would have helped. We've been a little bit limited in what we can do. I felt as though late on in the game it was a perfect game if we have a few more pacey players to bring on. The likes of Mason, the likes of Jed. Again, the game becomes very different late on. But so far we've been organised, hard to play against. But I just think there's another 5 or 10% in order to come and win games. So it's the players, you see. It's the players. They're not fast enough. And they keep getting injured. It's the players' fault. Anyway, moving on. So here's news at 10, and it's going to be a bit more from Gary Rowett. Gary Rowett said he wants his Millwall players to demand more from each other after they drew a 6-game and 9 in the Championship this season. So yet again, it's the players' fault. Matt Smith gave the Lions a 32nd minute lead from Shea Yoja's delivery before Max Lowe's attempted cross-winner for Bartosz Białkowski for a 52nd minute equaliser. Smith went closest to a winner, but his effort struck the bar. And Rowett said, "I think Forest get a massive stroke of luck. Up until that point, I didn't think they looked like they were really going to hurt us. And then the game opened up for both teams. We hit the crossbar when we probably should score. We have some other good breaks when I feel we should have done better. They get a couple of counter-attacks when they flash balls across our goal without making Bart work. I just spoke to the players in there. I think it's a game we should win. In order to win that game, we've got to have a little bit more demand from each other. We've got to be a little bit more ruthless, and I think if we are, I think we'll be a decent side." After about 20 minutes, I asked the wide players. They'd got into good areas, but I felt they could do it even more. When Conor Mahoney goes at you, I think he's difficult to stop. Shea was excellent today. He's hardly trained in 10 days. We're having to patch up in different areas, but I think that's a performance where we should go and win the game. There have been a lot of draws, not many of those draws where I could say we were fortunate to take a point. A lot of those draws, I'm saying we should win the game. Maybe that's a little bit biased, but that's how I feel. Not really. I don't think so. Not against Coventry. Coventry was end to end. Swansea. No, I don't think so. West Brom. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Yet again, there's the table. 3 places above relegation. 3 places above relegation. 4 points above relegation. Now I know it's only 9 games played. It's only 9 games played. Come on, guys. It's only 9 games played. There's a lot more of the season to come. There's plenty of games left for us to draw. So here we go. This is also from London News Online. It says Forest had planned to stop Millwall striker, but Boss admits they failed to implement it fully. Steve Cooper was disappointed that Nottingham Forest failed to deal with Matt Smith and revealed that they had worked on a plan to try and stop him. Smith headed home a Shea Yoja across to initially give Millwall the lead before Max Lowe equalised in the second half. Cooper said, "I didn't think anyone deserved to be in front of half time. We were disappointed that we were down. It was a goal that we had planned not to concede. We wanted to stop crosses because we know that's their threat. We know they've got big Matthew Smith, who can be a difference when balls are in the air and when the balls are in the box. We knew that was coming, and when you plan for something, you obviously want to do it a bit better. But you have 2 choices when things are going against you and you're not winning. You either accept it and get beat, or you roll your sleeves up and try and get back into it. We didn't quite finish off the task by getting the 3 points, but we did our best and we got back into the game." So it sounds like he's disappointed he didn't win. So he's not happy that he got the draw. Just not in the Forest man. He's not happy he drew. He thinks they could have won that game. Wouldn't it be nice to have a manager like that? Moving on. So Mill boss demanding more ruthless touch after City ground draw. It's probably seen some of this already. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. So Rowett said, "We needed to be a bit more ruthless. At the start of the game, you can understand Forest have a new manager at home. We grew into the game, we settled into the game, we looked a far more controlled side in the first half. We got into some really good areas, we scored a very good goal, and we had some other moments where, again, I just think if we have a little bit more ruthlessness about us, we go and score a second. To go in at 1-0 up away from home was encouraging. I said to the players, you're going to have to start the second half with a little bit of edge about us. It's hard to take a goal when Max Lowe tries to cross it. Yes, maybe we can get a little bit closer, but he tries to cross it. It's certainly not a shot and it goes into the top corner. So basically what he's saying about Ryan Leonard not getting closer to the guy, good little bit of shimmy, the geezer gets a yard on him and puts the cross in. So square peg in round holes, and you'll see in tomorrow's stats video, Ryan Leonard really did not have a good game. So Forest get a massive stroke of luck, because up until that point I didn't think they looked like they were going to hurt us. Then the game just opened up for both teams. We hit the crossbar where we probably should score. We have some other good breaks where we should do better. There's a game we should win, and in order to win that game we just need to have a little bit more demand from each other. We have to be a bit more ruthless, and if we do, we will be a decent side. What am I reading now? So it's a game we should win, and in order to win that game we just need to have a bit more demand from each other. We have to be a bit more ruthless, and if we do, we will be a decent side. It's just word salad, isn't it? Does it actually mean anything? Maybe the reason why the players aren't playing fucking right, if he chats this shit to them, maybe they're fucking scrambling their fucking brains. Maybe that's the problem. Yeah. So there you go. Match day. Nottingham Forest 1, Millwall 1. Again, 19th in the table, 9 points, 3 places above the relegation zone, 4 points away from the relegation zone. So by my count, was in 2 games time we could be in a relegation zone. Wouldn't that be fun? So we've got a game on Wednesday against Bristol City. The under 23s are playing on Monday. They're going to Cardiff. I think that's in a stadium, so if you're out that way you may be able to see it. But yeah, Bristol City on Wednesday at home. And if that's another draw, I think the board should start looking for viable options to replace Gary Wright. We shall see. We shall see. This is not good. Not good. It was the same last season. It's the same this season. This is not progress. This really isn't progress. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.